Do you ever have trouble saying no? This is something that I have. I used to have trouble. I'm working towards it. But as a reformed people pleaser, this is something that I have learned that by saying, getting better at saying no, it allows me the freedom to say yes to things that really matter. When we are feeling overwhelmed and we're feeling busy and rushed and anxious and all of those things, it's typically because we haven't said no to things that are unimportant to us or are not urgent, or unimportant and not urgent. And we go through, or sometimes it's where our boundaries are crossed and we have to actually enforce them. So, um, these last couple of weeks have been, it's just been a test of boundary after boundary. And I was wondering if this is something that happens to you. And it's like, okay, Tammy, how do I get back to saying no? How can I start to say no more often again so I don't have to worry about like people crossing my boundaries? Again, like I said, I'm a reformed people person. I've recently realized how much my upbringing was about doing things for other people or doing things for other people and giving them the credit. No self promotion. It's all about helping other people look good, which is not a bad thing. But it's also not a good thing. It's also challenging as someone who is the forefront of a business, someone who is a business owner, and someone who I know in my heart of hearts that I can help transform lives. If I'm so worried of staying behind the scenes, and helping other people look good, then my purpose, my calling, the message that God has given to my heart is not actually being fulfilled. Like I'm not being obedient. Let's just say that. And so that's one of the ways why boundaries are so freaking important is that if we want to walk in obedience, if we want to not be overwhelmed and too busy, and we want to get together with friends and family and take care of our peeps who matter, we have to set boundaries. One of the best ways to start is, if you haven't really identified what boundaries you need, starting to say no more often, or saying, if people push you into things, say no. But like, how do you do it? Because there's like, oh, I don't think so. Or I would leave room for maybe. I would say no, and then they would interpret it as maybe this will happen. And I'm like, okay, I need to stop that. One of the things that you need to do is be polite yet direct. I'm sorry, um, that's not a priority today. Or I'm sorry, I don't think I can make that work. Also, I know many of you are like, Tammy, why are you saying I'm sorry? Because I truly am. Like, there's some things I'm not sorry about, and I need to not say I'm sorry, but it's typically I'll say I'm sorry, and that's not going to work for me. Um, or you can just say, I need to check my priorities, but that's not a priority this week. Um, there's so many ways. Like, it's crazy how many times we need to say no and we say yes instead. Um, So this is not a story from my life. This is not something that I'm dealing with right now. So don't you worry about that. This is completely fictitious. But I am on a call with a client, not me, somebody else is on a call with a client and gets a text from her teenage son who says, hey, this person showed up. Do you know why they're there? And it's like, no, I don't know why they're here. I didn't know that this person was coming. Them coming is not the issue. It's the fact that no one let me know that's coming. Or somebody fictitious, completely made up. Nobody I know. Um, it's a several hour drive. So a text, a call, setting those boundaries, enforcing the boundaries, letting people know that, well, a text so I can plan, a call so I can know that I'm here. Um, a lot of times, being able to say, no, this is not a good time, you're allowed to do that. And like, there's times that we're put in situations where we're in double binds where it's like, I want to be able to make this happen, but right now is not the time. These are times we need to be direct and we need to be able to say no or say yes or whatever we want to say, but we get to decide. So when you're direct but polite, because again, I love, and this person loves having company, having people come over, but also has a pretty crazy life and would like to know if they need to make extra dinner or, change the sheets or make the bed, the guest room bed, things like that. It's okay. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say now's not a good time. So let's talk real quick about how to say that. Let's talk about the be direct. You can apologize or you don't have to. Typically, I do apologize. Yeah, because I really am sorry that I'm not able to make your needs. And this isn't gonna work for me, or this wasn't a decision that I could make. This isn't a priority. This is not. I'm not able to meet you for coffee tomorrow. I've got XYZ. Again, you don't even have to explain yourself, and that's my next one because I'm really bad at this. Is explain. You don't owe anyone else an explanation. Your no is no. Period. A lot of times I feel like I have to explain myself, and that's something that I'm working on. Maybe it's part of, man, maybe this live is more for me to acknowledge the fact that I'm still having these bad habits. Hopefully you understand. But by saying no, by being more direct, by not giving more information than's needed, because you don't need to leave room for a maybe or a misinterpretation. So that's my next is like, just be direct and polite. Okay, I forgot what that second one was, but then it's also is, don't offer more information. Third one that I have is you can offer an alternative. Like if it's something that you want to do, I'm not available next week, but hey, in 2 weeks, I have Thursday available. Could we meet then? Hey, I am really busy, but I would love to meet with you. Can we meet over Zoom? You can come up with an alternative. Like I can't meet with you. However, so and so, I would love to get you guys together because I know you'd hit it off. Like this is, or hey, here's other resources for you that I'm not able to do this. However, here's some resources. This is one of the things I do a lot with in coaching, because people will come to me asking for counseling, asking for therapy. And since I don't do that anymore, I do have a list of resources that I can offer them, depending on what they're looking for, where they are, even websites that I like using that are reputable, I will give those to them. So have those alternatives. That's not a form of making excuse. That's not a form of apologizing, but that's actually like providing value, and so you feel good about your no, because you're not leaving them stranded. And then have some self-compassion. There are times that I say yes and I have to go back and say, you know what? I said yes, but I cannot make this work. Here's an alternative for you. Or, hey, here's what I have to offer you. Or here's my advice for you. This is the next step that you can take. Or to say, hey, depending on what it is, I can just say, you know what? I'm really sorry that I said yes to something I should not have said yes to. One way that helps me not say yes to things is very rarely will I agree to anything on the spot. I have given myself that boundary of take some time, say, give me the details and I'll get back to you. Hey, let me look at my calendar, or let me talk to my kids. Let me talk to Kyle. let me just look at my schedule. Let me look at my priorities. Let me look at what I have going on, and I will get back to you. By giving myself that boundary, that like buffer time, then I can ask myself, is this something I really want to do? Or is it something I even really care about? Do I want to spend my energy on this? Many times it's like, okay, this is how I can make it work. I love flexibility. I am super flexible if I have advance notice, or if it's something that I'm passionate about. I have my key priorities that I will be flexible and I will figure it out. I also recognize that there's some things that are not in my key values or priorities, and I don't have to be flexible on. I can say no and it be okay. I know, like last week at some point, I was talking about the realm of responsibility and letting people down and like taking care of your inner circles, because it really, those are the ones you're responsible to. And having that self compassion and being a little more assertive does not mean aggressive. Being more assertive does not mean that you don't care. Being more assertive does not mean people aren't going to like you. Being assertive doesn't mean you're wrong or you're not fun or you're not flexible or that you don't want to help others. Being assertive does not mean anything other than the fact that you have decided what's important to you and you're going to surround yourself with it. You don't have to be aggressive. Like I said, it's assertiveness and aggressiveness are two different words. You can be assertive and kind. You can be assertive and sure. You can be assertive and, you can be assertive and fun. You can be assertive and anything else. The whole point of assertiveness is let them know that what you mean. When you leave room for maybe, when you don't believe your no, others can feel that. And so that's why being direct and offering an alternative and like not giving extra details that they don't need is so important. All right. Well, though I know this, I know this information. My day has been thrown off by this fictitious turn of events. Life happens. And so now I'm going to go and I get to go hang out with my family. I get to go and hang out with, let's go hang out with my kids and work on boundaries some more. Do you ever, life happens. Today was a good day. This last week, I'm going to talk tomorrow. I'll talk about my experience with the Women's Expo because I learned a lot about that. I learned about what's a good use of my time and what's not. I learned about how talking to different people. I also learned that, man, the first day was 9 hours. I was peopled out. And by the end of that, when my daughter and I got home, we were both like exhausted and we just put on a movie and let's just sit here and just watch it. But I can't wait to share about that. But if you have trouble with saying no, you can do it in a kind way. You can do it in an assertive way. You can do it in a way that protects your energy, protects your family, protects your time, protects your values, protects your priorities, protects you, and still helps the other person feel validated, feel as then they're important. When you are straight with them and they don't have to guess where you are, you're actually doing them a service because now they can get what they need from somewhere else. They don't have to, if you leave it wishy-washy, you leave room for a maybe, or you're like, oh, you say yes and you're not certain. It is better for them. Because think about it. How many times have you said, has someone else said yes to you and then not shown up? And it's like, okay, it would have been easier or not shown up completely. Like their mind is scattered. And you're like, it would have been easier for me if you would have just told me, no, I had other options. But now I lost those other options because I thought you were going to do this. So it really is the kind thing when it's not in your best interest, not in their best interest, to say no, to be assertive, be direct, be polite, be compassionate, offer alternatives, to say no instead of leading them on and help and letting them think that they can depend on you. That makes you and them Like it takes more energy from both of you, and it puts a strain on the relationship, whatever type of relationship it is, whether it's a close or a distant or a, you know, a acquaintance. It still puts a strain on that because then you don't know what to expect. So set your boundaries, say no. It allows you to say yes to things that are really important and things that you want to do. It is always a good practice to give yourself buffer time. If it's hard to say no, it is easier to say, you know what, I'm going to need to think about this and get back to you. I will contact you tomorrow afternoon, or I will let you know in an hour. It doesn't matter. It could be 15 minutes, but it gives you time to stop and think, do I want to do this? Is this the best use of my time? Can I spare the energy? Is this my responsibility, or could somebody else do it better? So if you have trouble saying no, just get in the habit of giving yourself that buffer and never saying yes or no in the moment, unless you know it's like 100% yes. Like, hey, do you want an all expense paid trip to Bali? Yes, I will go get my bag. I'll figure out all the details later. But it's like, hey, do you want to come and hang out with my girlfriend and her twin toddlers? And it's like, I'm gonna have to get back to you and see if I want to do that. So that's my tip for you today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. Today has been a good day. It's been crazy turn of events, but hey, doesn't mean it's bad. So check your no, give yourself some boundaries, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.